Hello, it is 3:05 p.m. I am back with another video. It's February 28th. It's Saturday afternoon. And, I just been kind of relaxing, listening to some music and unwinding. I also been kind of cleaning up my room here and there. So, trying to keep my mind off of the same old nonsense because I really get tired of my mind going right back to that same issue, the same topic, the same discussion, and it's because of, the inability to bring positive or, different experiences into my life because of what apparently the message I'm getting is that this was some sort of collaborative thing with, the whole Bruce Sarah Collins type thing, as well as some sort of assistance by the church. Now, this particular church, apparently the message I'm getting is everybody in the community knows what the church did and the hate crime that was launched against me through the church. So it's not like everybody in this community knows what happened. Everybody knows, okay? And like I said, I was left in a situation where I had to figure everything out, so, I realized that I dealt with something that I should not have dealt with. And of course, that changes a lot of things on how I see things, as well as how I deal with people in general. This to me is a very serious issue. And of course, I don't overlook it. But I'm glad that everyone here in the community knows that this was something that should not have happened. The message I'm getting right now is that my good name and reputation is pretty much all around the world. I'm not saying that I've never done anything wrong, because obviously throughout the course of my life, there were things I didn't know about, or there were mistakes I made. Of course there were, okay? But in this situation where I came down to another community, and then I know that this is an extension of the bullying that I received from childhood based on this particular person, this CB Braganza person. So I pretty much summed up everything already. It's just that, when I put everything into perspective, everything points to the obvious. The obvious issue is that number one, me coming back as Maria Gordon was something that should have never happened. Not to say that I like who I am, but I'm saying is that what my creation was something that I believe was dark, and something that was something that really, when I think about it, in 1956, CB Braganza, that should have been his last journey. And I would say that the issue of bringing somebody back and then making them a target of hatred over issues that they are themselves and are not able to know. They have to figure it out themselves. Yeah, definitely. This was something that was a hate crime. This was nothing but a hate crime. And everybody in the community knows that this particular church and this whole collaborative effort was their fault. Okay. And I'm just sitting here like, I wake up every day and I'm amazed at, what I've come to understand. And that I'm very grateful that I was able to figure it out by myself, because I understand in this situation you cannot rely on honesty, mainly because everybody who is indoctrinated doesn't have any sort of honesty to give you. They're always going to gaslight you. They're going to be in denial. And their main goal was to, of course, cover for the church. Okay. And like I said, this could be a combination of like LDS members, Jehovah's Witnesses, or a combination within the cult group. I also get the intuitive message that there was an actual real church that was involved in all of this. Okay. And sometimes churches work together as far as when it comes to information, providing information. So whatever the case was, this was nothing but a scandal. It is a huge scandal. Other people were, it's warm in here. That other people were convinced to be a part of, and it really is something dark, and it's a moral stain on the community, which is something that I suspected a long time ago. I do remember when I realized I was a targeted individual. I had talked about, my interactions with city council, and I forgot this one lady. She was talking about how Bakersfield was supposed to be an example for the rest of the United States. The whole thing, okay? So everybody has seen me making these videos for the last, I would say, 11 years at this point. Well, getting close to 11, because September of this year, 2026, will be the 11th anniversary of this particular channel, okay? So for 10 consecutive years, I've been making videos unraveling this disgusting mystery of this particular group of people who were targeting me, who were bullies, basically. And now I understand how malicious they were. And I understand, a lot of them are no longer here. They took this issue very seriously, which disturbs me to no end because, I understand that religion should not have been a criteria for employment. Okay, and I think this is an example of what happens when people introduce religion into the workplace and how it can turn people into just, mind-controlled slaves. Just weird stuff could actually happen. And this is really a good example. I mean, if people were really thinking logically, this would have never happened. And it is a tragedy. But, and of course, I'm somebody who's been affected by it, and I can't help but be affected by it. It has caused me severe mental disturbance that affects my ability to, number one, look for work, as well as other aspects of my life. Remember, this was a community harassment issue, which meant that I had to deal with people's irate, unforgivable behavior everywhere I went, you know what I mean? And so, this affects me, not because I feel as though it did not damage me in a sense to where I felt as though I was worthy of it. It made me sick to my stomach knowing that people could actually sink that low. Okay. And it also made me sick to my stomach that, the people that I used to know, the people that, even though I knew that I personally didn't want anything to do with them, not because at the time that I felt like this intense hatred for people like Terry Collins or anything like that, because really I understood that they were different than me. I understood that they were a little bit racist, but at the same time, I never felt the intense hatred for them that I do now. Okay? Because I didn't see them as that deep, that severe. I realized that these people were not only racist, but they were seriously misguided people in a sense of where they did not have any what do you call it? They were just followers, you know what I mean? People who always had to have the majority thought or whatever. And I think that's what they hated about me. They hated the fact that, I guess, okay, and based on the little issues that they started in the workplace, because what stalkers do is they usually use other people to create these little arguments for them, okay? So let's just say, for example, I was somebody who was into, I don't know, like maybe strawberry designs, okay? And I think everything with strawberries is great, and I talk about it, and I have a collection of like little strawberry trinkets everywhere. Well, they're going to sit here and talk about, well, you know what, I think strawberries are stupid. And what's really important is like, I prefer cherries, so therefore they're going to talk about that and why my ideas are dumb. And this is what they always did, like in like indirect ways. And I'm using the strawberry thing as an example because I can't think of anything on the top of my head. But really, I know that they talked about my clothes. They talked about my taste in music, what I watch for entertainment, how I live my life, all these sort of things. But they never gave any thought as to how I ended up being the person that I am. Regardless of that, okay, it's the fact that I dealt with people who were worse than what I thought they were. And it is shocking because even though I knew or thought poorly of these people, I had no idea just how evil they really were. Okay? So now I understand that they have caused all of this, okay? And what this is a huge scandal that everybody in Bakersfield, every single, if you are a business owner, if you work here in Bakersfield, I don't care what sector you're in, if you are, in law enforcement, medical industry, you work in gas and oil, I don't care where you are here in Bakersfield, you know exactly what happened here, okay? The message I'm getting right now is that, yes, indeed, that this is a huge crime relating to the church. Everyone in town knows. And, is that backward? Okay, yeah. So everyone in town knows what happened. Okay, it is a huge like discussion that's been going on, and it's going on and on and on. I'm also seeing, that because I got on YouTube, and yeah, I did see a few chosen videos. Now, I didn't watch a shitload of them, but enough to find out or to confirm what it is that I had, come to understand. And what I come to understand is that things did unfold exactly the way that I thought that they did. I went through all the timelines, through when I first made my channel. And, right after I came to understand that I was being gang stalked after leaving Murray Family Farms. This is very common when people, they do it as a form of retaliation, even though I had no reason to retaliate. What happened at Murray Family Farms should have stayed at Murray Family Farms. And really, what happened at Murray Family Farms was exactly their fault. All of this happened like right after I brought Joel, who is my ex-husband, to the Christmas party. I now understand that I was a victim of, stalking, human trafficking, and that Bruce's family, as well as Sarah, were responsible for me. And then they also created a lot of religious intolerance and didn't give me an opportunity to even explain myself. But, they enveloped everyone that I used to know, and they turned everyone against me, made it seem like I was a bad person. Like I said, not one time did they ever give me any chance to even explain myself. Now, they don't like the way that I live my life because because everything that they were criticizing is basically a result of me being a part of this program. Okay, they didn't like the fact that they would say I'm standoffish. Well, how would you like to go to work, and every time you show up to work, it's not about what you got to go to work. You got to sit here and deal with staring, rude comments, eye rolls, all from these people that that come from people that you used to know that you had no idea were stalking you. You know what I mean? And no, you can't ever sit here and take your job seriously because, the boss that hired you, he's only hiring you because he's holding you off for some sort of kingdom spouse that's supposed to eventually come in. No, they don't care about you, your work ethic. They don't care about any of that. All they care about is what they're using. You're being used as a toy, basically. And, this is where I ended up because of this issue. Because people didn't understand that, yes, okay, I only knew at the time that I needed to be able to support myself because obviously I didn't have any family. Okay, like my siblings have their own families. My mother's dead. I always knew that it was going to be me. I had to take care of me. And of course, these people were putting through in my life up into some sort of competition that I didn't ask for. So people didn't understand, yes, okay, there are women who are dealing with abusive situations. In my case, I would say this is an abusive situation. I had Bruce Collins basically strip me of my financial resources, and I had this community help them do it. So no, I mean, I feel nothing but disgust, you know what I mean? And so everybody in this community knows good and well what happened, and it's all because of the church. And I don't care which church it was, whether it's LDS, Jehovah's Witness, Catholic, whatever. I'm going to say they were pretty much all responsible, and it is what it is, okay? But let it be known that they hurt an innocent person. The message I'm getting right now is that, yes, I deserve to be compensated for everything that happened to me. Absolutely everything, okay? This to me is nothing more than a hate crime, period. Okay? And I'm glad that everyone in the community knows it. Every single last person in the community knows it. The message I'm getting right now is that people do recognize me as, the issue of the Swan Song Manifesto. And it's so funny because, like, I hear all these people, when I think about what people think is, or I don't know, it's just, I don't know. I don't understand what the big deal is. Okay, especially since the Swan Song Manifesto doesn't make any money. It really doesn't. But it's just the fact that people, the network that I was forced to be associated with, and people telling me how to live my life when I don't have anything, I don't have anything to do with these people, and I find it offensive that they wanted to somehow, control me in that sort of sense, to where they wanted to attach themselves to me, and they had no right to do that. No right to do that. I'm an adult, you know what I mean? Especially the Collins and everything. So I don't know what's going on with them, but whatever is mine is not theirs, and they have no right to touch anything that's mine. I don't care if they say that, what they had was a lot of crooked people who, wanted to believe that legally they could have some sort of access or some sort of privilege just because of their religion. No, it doesn't work that way, okay? A crime is a crime is a crime is a crime. So apparently there's a lot of messages going on, people exchanging emails, communications going on, something about people giving me respect, because this is an issue that went pretty much worldwide, because these ignorant people, some church, okay, I don't know, like I said, could have been a collaboration of different churches or whatever, thought that they would want to put these missions out. I don't do missions, and the very fact that you did this is a disrespect to me, okay? I don't know who launched it, but you should have never done that. The message I'm getting right now is that some people look at me as mysterious. It really is. I mean, I don't think it's that mysterious. Why should I want to sit here and have, communication with people who treated me that way? Okay, yeah, right now I'm dealing with healing from the past, okay, coming from a church. And then what made the church attack me? Because they understood my lineage. I am the, what do you call it, the clone of King Solomon. But not one time did I ever come against the church, meaning like I never struck against the church, I never spoke against the church attacked me. The church attacked me, okay, and that's not cool. Because I didn't do anything to warrant that. And maybe they didn't understand that I had the right to deny or refuse whatever it was they were offering. I'm disturbed by what these people did. I'm disturbed by it. And I do understand that there's been like news coverage about this issue. I unfortunately, like I said, my ability to access this sort of stuff, I generally do not have access to those sort of newsreels. I'm getting intuitive messages that this is what's going on. And everyone in the community, as well as outside the community, since the beginning of this whole issue, has watched this through and through. Okay? So I can't be held responsible for any of it. The message I'm getting right now is that people in every nation are acknowledging that, yes, I am exactly a victim of this. And yes, this was something that it is a moral stain on the church, period. Okay? And see... I never, even though I didn't go to church like Tanya or to join their churches or anything like that, I figured this was Tanya's choice and this was what they chose to do. And I never sat there and like argued with them or debated them or tried to change their life in any way. I resent these people and what they did to me. I resent these people trying to enforce their stuff on me. I resent these people trying to, force me into situations that I didn't ask for. I resent the fact that these people were exploiting me and abusing me. And no, it is not forgivable. The message I'm getting right now is that people are showing me respect and that I am healing and many other people are healing from the past. This is a huge issue that everybody knows relating to the church. A lot of people are leaving Christianity because of it, because, I believe it's the forceful nature and the coercion that a lot of the churches do use. In this case, there was coercion used against me. Okay. And of course, I've come to understand that this was nothing more than a hate crime. Nothing more. So when you think about Maria Gordon, I was a victim of a hate crime initiated by the church. And that's how it should be written down in history. Anything else is just an outright lie. I'm going to wrap up this video. There are no visuals to this particular video. I'm doing this on my phone. But I'm going to go ahead and get back to what I was doing, which I was reading a couple articles. And I hope you guys have a good day. Bye-bye.